Hello, this is Erin with The Joy in Pens and Paper, and we are going to do a 3 Inks Thursday. We are on number 14. In this video, we are going to swatch 3 inks on 3 different papers with 3 nib sizes. The 3 inks today are Sailor Maniocoque, Wearingeul Robinson Crusoe, and Diamine Sub-Zero. The 3 nibs or pens are a TWSBI Eco in fine, medium, and stub, and I will be using a Kakimori Brass nib pen to do the ink swatches on the 3 papers, which are Life Bank paper, Clairefontaine Rhodia paper, and Tomoe River paper. Some other tools that I have is this gray tray, which was gifted from a viewer, Tina, a white t-shirt to get the moisture off of my tools, and a mason jar of water. So without further ado, I am going to get started. The first one is Sailor Maniocoque. This might have some chromo shading properties, so let's see how it performs on each paper. Sailor inks do have a little bit of a chemical smell to them, so when you get a sample or a bottle, don't be very surprised. Ooh, look at that difference. Okay. So I do not pre-swatch on all 3 papers. I do select the inks from a Wearingeul ink swatch book that I received from an Ink Flight subscription. And then I also swatched these on Rhodia paper just to figure out what order I wanted to place them. And what was interesting is I chose this ink because I thought it really complemented slash matched the other 2. But when I swatched it on the Rhodia paper, it was coming off as a different blue. And I started questioning if I chose the right ink to go with the other 2. But this proves why I chose it. Or, yep, why I selected it. Stumbling on my words today. All right. So next is Wearingeul Robinson Crusoe. This was an ink sample that I received from a viewer, Taz. And Taz, at the point that they sent me this ink, was a big fan of Wearingeul inks. Not sure, Taz, if that still is the case or if a different brand has caught your fancy. Wearingeul inks can tend to run a little dry. However, their shimmer inks do perform pretty well in a variety of nib sizes. I tend to use extra fine and fine, occasionally a medium. But like I said, they do tend to run a little dry. I have not put Robinson Crusoe in a pen yet, but I have enjoyed swatching it. I'm just giving this ink a little agitation shake because it does have a shimmer. And I'm going to hope to get the shimmer on these swatches, but I will not be re-agitating it when I do the writing sample. I just realized I have not done a writing sample for any of these. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to predict that this one's going to be a little longer because now I got to go back and do it all over again. Okay. Let's start with the fine nib. I'm going to write the name of the brand. So this is a Sailor. Oops, I guess I did not get it far enough down. Sailor Manio This is a sample from Goulet Pens, and it is from a while ago. This is from almost 2 years ago. Gosh, I almost capped it. And at that point, Goulet Pens was doing samples that were on the smaller side, and I then switched over to getting samples from Van Ness, Koke. Apologies for that. Because I think Goulet was doing 2 mil samples and Van Ness was doing 4 mil, and it wasn't for much more, so it seemed more economical, in my opinion. My understanding is that Goulet has increased their sample sizes. I can't confirm that because I have not ordered from them in definitely over a year. I'm strongly considering placing an order because I've heard a number of people on YouTube talk about their birthday sample pack, and so I might do an order next month for my birthday just to get that experience. Alright, so this is Wearingeul. You can see some of the chromo shading coming out in the writing, especially with the stub nib. Right, well, I guess I will do a little re-agitation of this. We might see some shimmer in the writing sample, maybe a little bit more than what we would have seen. Sub-Zero is a very punchy blue, but Wearingeul Robin Crusoe is almost just a slight, maybe one level lighter, or definitely slightly lighter version. Okay, now let's chat for a moment. So, the biggest surprise out of all 3 of these is definitely the Sailor Manyo Koke. The difference in color between the LifeBank paper and the Clairefontaine and the Tomoe River is stark. On the LifeBank paper, you get a little bit more of that leaning green, versus Clairefontaine and Tomoe River, it leans blue, and on the Tomoe River, you're seeing the chromo shading of purple coming out in some of the more saturated areas. I'm seeing a tiny bit of that in the Clairefontaine, but really the Tomoe River paper is the one that highlights that chromo shading the most. The Robinson Crusoe, I can see a little bit of shading coming out in the Tomoe River, and I don't really see that at all on the Clairefontaine or the LifeBank paper. And similar somewhat similar with Diamine Sub-Zero, you've got that shading on the Tomoe River, but you do also have it on the Clairefontaine. There's no shading coming out in the Life Bank paper. And I don't know that I've necessarily made this observation previously, so I will make it now. It seems like the Life Bank paper is not the best paper to use if you're an enthusiast of shading inks, which I am, because it's not necessarily going to show that. I'm going to start paying attention to that, and I'm not going to do it here, but I'm going to flip back through some of my prior 3 inks just to see if that holds true for some other inks, but that definitely is coming out. Now, in terms of the shimmer, I'm going to pull this up and just smooth around a little bit. The shimmer appears to be pretty well distributed, especially on the Life Bank paper, which was the first one that was swatched. And so I would think it would have been more likely to come out heavy. And interestingly, I did dip it between each, but the Clairefontaine, there seems to be patches that are much more saturated with shimmer, more so than the Tomoe River and the Life Bank paper. So, I hope that you enjoyed the 14th 3 Inks Thursday. Please let me know in the comments if there's any specific colors, or even if there are any specific inks that you would like for me to feature on a 3 Inks. I would be happy to try to accommodate as best I can. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye.